What's up, folks, and welcome back to Dyce Reacts, bro. We are staying in Australia tonight. Oh yeah, we are going to be checking out Australian reporter reflects on being shot with rubber bullet during LA protests. I didn't know the LA protests were still going on, to be honest with you. Sometimes I'm locked out of what's actually going on in certain parts of the world. Not all the time, but I always see news feeds and stuff. But I didn't know this was getting out of hand until I saw this article, and I found a video. I say, let me react to this. Let me see what's actually going on. Vermin side checks one out. We ain't gonna waste no more time. Just gonna get right into it, folks. We're gonna get right into it. Oh yeah.
The chaos unfolding in LA is sending shockwaves across the globe. Our very own US correspondent Lauren Tomasi was caught up in the mayhem, shot with a rubber bullet. Take a look.
After hours of standing off, this situation has now rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA.
What?
You just shot the
You okay?
I'm good.
Doesn't matter how many times you watch it, right?
You shot the
What?
firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA. You just shot the
You okay?
I'm good.
Wait. Was it? Are those security forces? Because when I read the article, I thought it was like different protesters, but I'm seeing is the guy is part of the force.
Doesn't matter how many times you watch it, right? Lauren joins us live now from LA. Lauren, I mean, I think we were all so shocked and so deeply troubled by what happened to you yesterday. How are you feeling this morning?
Morning, Sarah and Carlos. I'm good, thank you. I have a bit of a bloody big old bruise and it's a little bit sore, but I am all okay, thank you.
Hey, can you talk us through just, it was obviously, it's been a big couple of days, but it seemed to me that escalated, and talk us about to what happened before and then during and after.
Yeah, I mean, we were reporting on the Today Show all morning the situation on the ground in downtown LA. My cameraman Jimmy and I had started by that detention centre in downtown LA, and there was, a few skirmishes here and there and a little bit of chaos moments as we went throughout the morning, but it was about 5 o'clock local time when there were suddenly just thousands of protesters on the streets of downtown LA, and we felt that presence of the LAPD and law enforcement really ramp up. Jimmy and I went live. We were doing a cross into the program. And police started pushing their way up the street. They'd begun firing tear gas canisters and those rubber bullets, and we moved onto the sidewalk and really tried to stay out of the way. What you saw, that report, was at the end of that live cross. We'd moved off to the side of the road. We were at the side of police. I had my back to those LAPD officers. I was really focused on the camera and, finishing that report, telling what was happening. And I got hit. Jimmy scooped me up and we made our way out of there as quickly as possible. Bit of a shock.
I mean, it's a tremendous shock, Lauren, and you were just doing your job, right? And we've been in awe of your coverage for the past few days and how incredibly difficult those circumstances are for you. We know it was tense. I mean, those circumstances that you found yourselves in for that report specifically seemed to be somewhat calmer, and then all of a sudden, he turned and fired at you. It just seems so out of place and so bizarre.
It's strange, man.
Have you managed to, has there been any explanation? Have you been able to sort of gain any intel on how that happened, why that happened?
No, I mean, where we were standing, it felt like things had calmed down a little bit after that big, chaos of moving up the street. And we'd found a moment where police were still standing off there, but it had calmed for a moment. The police were standing still, and that is why we stepped off to the side. We weren't in a group of protesters or anything. We were with other media. I think you can see a cameraman walk behind me in the middle of that shot. So, look, we were doing our best to report what was happening from the scene in the safest way we possibly could. And Jimmy and I were listening to everything the LAPD had been saying to us.
But also, you're balancing a lot there, and you've also got protesters who are furious with you. And for the most part over the last couple of days, I've seen you in every circumstance be calm and talk to these people. You've also been fearlessly unbiased. So that's reporting both sides of it. And then out of the blue, you get lined up. Is that how, I mean, you're loath to, I know you, you're loath to be part of this story. But in a way you are, and it's going to have reaction and ramifications across America. That's how bad the situation is in LA right now.
Look, I feel embarrassed, quite frankly. I really don't want to be the story as part of this. We were just on the ground trying to do our job. I was there. You know, Jimmy and I were doing our best to bring to Australia what is unfolding on the streets of LA. And it's a really unfortunate thing that has happened. And I think, you know, as a journalist, we want to be there telling the story. I think, you know, it's a really crappy thing that's happened, but I really don't want to be the story here. It is, you know, a really chaotic situation that's unfolding in Los Angeles.
I mean, Lauren, you've got so much grace, and as Carl said, we know that about you, and none of us ever want to be the story. You want to be reporting on the facts and what's unfolding in front of you, and you do that so well, and you've brought that to our audiences, as we said, for days now, and we take our hats off to you because you've been doing an incredible job. And yeah, just the way that officer turned and pointed at you and targeted you with your back to him, I mean, it's unforgivable. And we really feel for you, and, you know, we thank you for your grace, frankly.
Lauren, you're going to be part of this story now ongoing. Do you have any reservations?
I mean, I think that it's so important that, you know, journalists are out there doing our job, and we've got to keep on doing that. It's, you know, no journalist wants to be the story, and certainly I hope that, you know, we can move on from that and, you know, focus what is unfolding, you know, throughout America. It's a really tense situation at the moment. The sense on the ground is so tense, and, you know, I just want to move on, and I will get back out there and keep on reporting it.
All right, good on you, Lauren. It's good to talk to you, and look, speak for yourself when you say you don't want to be the story. I'm, you know, happy to be the story any day of the week.
Guys, I do have to tell you though, I've had some lovely people reach out, and one of the phone calls I didn't expect to get today was actually from the Italian consulate. Ciao, Lauren. Tomasi, you might have gathered, is actually an Italian name. And so the Italians have checked in on me, which was a really lovely moment. So.
What was he asking if you were single or something?
Oh,
You know, the Italians, they always see an angle.
That guy looked like
some tiramisu at the very least.
Asking me out for some pasta.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Hey, job well
Lauren.
done, and we'll keep watching because it's such an important story in doing.
I knew that guy looked a bit slicked. He's there all serious, and, you know, he's there like as though he's focusing, but he looked a bit slicked, and I was right at the end there. You hear what he said at the end there. He put that one in. Yeah, sometimes he got his eye on her. I'm just saying. She's easy on the eyes. Yeah. When I first, it looked like I was saying that the officer didn't actually point the firearm at her, but when you look at it repeatedly, he did just that. But I don't know if he was trying to aim for someone else and it hit her, but it just doesn't look that way. I mean, how can you not see those are like reporters? Yes, it could be that they are in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's just the situation is so intense that she could get out of hand. But you could clearly see that he actually was aiming towards her direction, and that is just odd. So I would really like to hear, like, on their end, like, what were they thinking? Because you could see that I would assume you could see that the logos, it's a news media just try to report on the situation that's taking place there. And unfortunately she got shot, but it was a rubber bullet, thank God for that, because I thought it was gonna be a worse outcome when I heard she got shot. But she's all right, and she's like a superhero right there. I wasn't expecting her to be on air, given the details as to what took place. I thought maybe like she would be like in a hospital, or maybe like an audio, a phone call or something, telling her story. But wow, that was, I can imagine how she felt in that moment, because you just caught in the chaos there, not knowing exactly what actually happened to you just now. So that had to have, you know, your heart pumping. But even after that, she still stayed around and continued reporting. So she's a hell of a fighter, I must say. She's a soldier in her own right. The LA protests is getting worse than I actually thought. I thought this was dying down. Apparently it's not. It's getting worse as the days progress. So I gotta trying to find out what's going on as of today currently, and I'm gonna see if I'm gonna maybe do another video, an update to see what's going on this one. Maybe it's not gonna be on Dyce Reacts Bro. Might be on another channel. I got a lot of channels, man. I got a lot of channels. Yes, but shout out to this brave young lady right there. Yes. Hope all is well with you, and continue giving us this breathtaking news, because someone has to give us those news. We're just sitting home in the comfort of our homes with our loved ones, and we're watching the news, and people are putting their life on the line, giving us those news and information. So we gotta thank them. Yes. If you want to see that long drawn outro that I do, hit me up on Dyce Reacts, where I do music reactions. This way I'm gonna be making my exit. So until next time, peace out.